So I've been having trouble with the window winders on my Ford Galaxy, and although you could get them, the passenger and the two rear ones, to go down whilst you were sat here, you couldn't get the driver's one to go down at all. The passenger ones and the rear ones would only go back up if you operated them from their local positions on either side. You couldn't control them fully from here. And this one, particularly this switch, is a bit wobbly. That one's not so bad, but I've seen an indication that perhaps this is what the problem is. The other problem it might be is the connector in the door. Now, I had the other door taken off and replaced, the skin replaced, because somebody reversed into it. And I thought perhaps it was to do with that, because that was the thing that had been touched. And so I took apart the door connector, and it's a big multi-pin thing. You just unscrew it, it's fine. There was nothing wrong with it. I gave it a squirt of contact cleaner, put it all back together, and it still didn't make any difference. So that's why I'm now thinking it could well be this. Now, I did see a video where somebody took this apart, and well, he made it look easy. He was doing it one-handed. Now, this piece goes in here, and you have to take that piece off first. So this edge here is only just behind this, underneath this lip. And if you do just push this forward, both from underneath and on top at the same time, you can see this edge. This is quite soft, really, but if you get a screwdriver in, you can just lever it away. Probably a flat bladed one, and oops, you can put it in and just tweak it side to side all the way along, because actually there's quite a number of bits that you're trying to undo on here, so it really wouldn't be a good idea to lift it from one end and prise it out, because I think you'd probably end up snapping some of these things. And these aren't very big, and they're that sort of plastic. If you do break it, you probably never get it back together again. So I was quite surprised how many clips there were holding it in place, but it actually isn't too difficult to get off. Now, this is a different matter. I couldn't work out how to get this off without breaking it. Now, there are no clips in this area, so you've got a tendency to try and lift from this corner, but there are clips here and here, here and here, I think, and here and here. And I'll show you that now. So what you're looking at is these thin pieces of plastic, and they've only got a tiny ridge on them, but I couldn't get it to move. I was shoving it backwards and forwards like that, and it was hardly moving at all. A real problem. And but I didn't want to just prise it out. Whether you can and it would survive, I don't know. I managed to get these ones loose. I don't know whether you can see in there. It's getting a bit close. Well, that's better. So I managed to get those yellow ones on this end, these ones, out. And the way I did that was by sticking a screwdriver under this end, flat like that, and then turning it and levering up and trying to push, because what I was trying to do was push that inwards ever so slightly. That appeared to work. It looks as though you've got to somehow move these, but that's really quite tough in there. Anyway, I just knew that there was a real risk of these snapping off down here. So I got this one loose. I then managed, I could feel that if I slid the screwdriver along here, I could feel where this was, and I gently manoeuvring the screwdriver around until it popped up. I got this one out, then I got this one out. I then put the screwdriver in. I was using a longer one actually. I was using this longer one to try to get in here. Really difficult to get in under there. And then just manoeuvring this, trying to turn the blade until this one popped out. All the foam's deteriorated in here. Lovely, it's all sticky and horrible. And looking at this, it does look as though I've taken the paint off on there. So that's what I was trying to achieve, was to get the screwdriver in along here. You can feel it, you bump into it, you push it, and then if you can just turn the screwdriver as you're trying to lift this up, you will eventually get it. And I was just stuck with this one. And in the end, all I was able to do is to keep pushing this screwdriver in from this end. I thought I was up against one there, but it turns out that's just a screw head. So I could feel that one there. That's a screw head. So you've got to get to there. And again, I was just trying to get the screwdriver in and turn the blade, just rotate it. It was quite tricky. And if I could rotate the blade, push this catch away. Anyway, I'm in. We've got a connector. This looks like some screws holding this switch assembly on, but I'm going to take it indoors because I want to do this on a table. Let's have a look and see what might be wrong with this, if anything. So there's 3 screws to take out. So, where are the ones? Right. Right. Rather disgusting in there. That's definitely tilting to one side there. Oh. I've just pushed that down there, and it went just a little bit of click and it went back in. It's no longer up in the air. Yes, take the other side off first, and then you can lever this side off easier. Well, the switches are here. There and there. And they seem quite positive. Maybe this isn't my problem. Yes, that was a bit floppy and loose, but is that the problem? Well, there are 7 teeny weeny Torx heads. Do I take it apart? I don't want to make the situation any worse, but the switches do seem to be enclosed. I don't know why I thought they were going to be open. This unit seems to be one piece really, and with the connector there, it's a 16-way connector of which 13 pins are occupied. I can't believe it was just this out of position. That's really not what I'd expect. Now, I tried to get this apart because I was curious as to what was inside, but these tiny Torx heads are well, they're less than the one I had anyway, and I even tried using an Allen key, the smallest one I've got. Sometimes you can jam those in, but I can't successfully open it. I tried thinking, well, maybe the screws just hold something on the inside, and maybe it's these clips on the side here, but again, I still couldn't get it apart. It does seem to be well and truly fixed. It's probably not a good idea unless you know you've got a fault in there. To prove whether or not there was a fault in there, what I did was I toned out this connector with my meter, and what I did establish was this. So the key pins are in fact 10 and 11. They connect through the various switches. In my case, of course, this is a right-hand drive, so this one is offside front, near side front, offside rear, near side rear, door lock, door unlock, and window lock. And so each of these pins is connected when you press it to either 10 or 11. You must remember, of course, that the front switches have a partial position as well. So you get part down, it'll do one thing. You press it further down, it has a slightly different function. I can't remember whether that is the auto up and auto down. Well, that's down. Sorry, that's down, that's up. I can't recall, but there is a partial position. But that doesn't apply in the rear ones. They're either on or off. I took the cover off one of these, and there are in fact two switches inside, one of which only operates on the partial position. And that's these two here, pins 5 and 6. And depending whether it's near side front or off side front, down or up, depends whether it's connected to 5 is connected to 11 or 5 is connected to 10, or 6 is connected to 11 or 6 is connected to 10. Anyway, I'll write these up and put them in a table. And that way, if you do think you've actually got a problem with this, you could in fact just test that out. It's a bit fiddly, trying to hold it and hold the switch and the prongs. You probably need 3 hands. I found that actually putting a pair of 81s in just here, just gently operating it, was enough to help if you balance it like so. So I didn't really find anything wrong with mine. All of them had continuity. I checked it several times. So I'm going to go and refit this, but I'm also going to check the connector in the door, in the hinge of the door, that is. So we're back outside now. Sorry if there's a little bit of wind noise. And I think one of my neighbours is jet washing their bits and pieces. So I'm not going to fit it back in there just yet, because who knows whether I've actually fixed it. Plug this back in. Put that on there. I don't think I will have done, to be honest. And no. Yeah, I can make the other one side go down, but I have to operate it from the passenger door to get it to go back up again. So I think the next thing is going to be down in the door hinge then.